Hey everyone, welcome to the horror show. I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm producer Dave.
I'm Kristopher.
We're here.
And we're here to do our spoiler discussion for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. We did our regular movie review. Feel free to go back and watch it if you haven't yet, but this is where we're going to talk about all the spoilery things about this movie. And so I don't know what you guys want to start with, but I say we just start at the beginning.
I was going to start at the ending. But
no, let's not.
All right. That's all I want to talk about.
I'm going to start at the beginning and say the movie actually had a cool intro because that's where all the mosasaur action was, where basically there's a giant wall that opens up, which essentially reminded me of what the Tanaka Lagoon opening would be from the Meg series. And on the inside is where the mosasaur was. It's 3 years after Jurassic World, so there's a couple of dudes in a little Lexan glass undersea, pod that are going down, and they're going to extract a bit of the Indominus Rex's now completely eaten flesh, or now bone rather. The flesh is all completely eaten by the mosasaur at this point. And they do so, and then it's cool because when they send up the bone, when the little balloon takes it, topside, you can see the outline of a giant crocodile essentially. Mm-hmm. Yep. And then a couple of seconds later, it cuts back to the guys in the pod, and they're like, "All right, let's get out of here." And then it cuts to the outside where you see the giant shadow right behind them, and then the mouth just opens up and engulfs them. And it's really, really badass. And then it cuts back topside where it makes us think there's a Dilophosaur, but there's not. It's actually a T-Rex that shows up and chases the guy. He runs, and the helicopter is taking off with the Indominus Rex sample, and he grabs the ladder. The T-Rex grabs it and almost pulls him back down, but the ladder snaps. And he, of course, is like, "Ah, I made it, I made it!" And then, of course, we're supposed to be surprised by the shot we saw in the trailer where the mosasaur leaps out of the water and grabs whatever dude is hanging from the ladder.
I wasn't expecting it.
Really? Yeah. Well, again, I watched the trailer, so... but it was still a cool opening, and it still got me into it. And then, of course, the mosasaur swims out of the still open gate to end. So I was like, oh, okay, that's Meg. That's kind of what happens in one of the Meg books. So, but still, the mosasaur is beautifully rendered, and still one of the scariest things. Actually, the scariest thing in this movie, in my opinion. I'd much rather face the Indoraptor than the mosasaur.
Not me. Well, I wouldn't want to face either one. Yeah.
If I had my choice, neither one. Sure. All right, Marcia, what's the first spoiler you'd like to talk about?
I don't know. I just love Blue, and I love the T-Rex, and I don't want to ruin anything, but the T-Rex saves the day yet again, and I love that.
Which time? Because it always fucking does it. Like,
every time.
People are saved by dinosaurs in this so many goddamn times.
No, it's the T-Rex, man. I mean, Blue does a lot of saving, too, don't get me wrong, because that's what he's like a little puppy.
Yeah.
But the T-Rex always just comes out of nowhere. He's like the untold hero in every single one of these movies, and I'm just like get excited every time I see the T-Rex. I'm like, he's about to eat somebody I don't like, and it's gonna be great. And he does every time.
He somehow has the heaviest footsteps ever when necessary, and then he becomes a fucking ninja half the time when he sneaks in to kill things, like to save our people.
Well, they think he was an ambush hunter. He'd hide in the bushes.
Yeah, but no, he doesn't know. His footsteps don't suddenly stop having weight, though.
No, I mean, he's an ambush hunter. I mean, he doesn't run after his prey. He sits in the bushes and waits till they walk by and goes,
Yeah, but okay, but that's not the indication we got here. He was obviously running, but still, he runs up. He destroys the Allosaurus or whatever it is that's attacking Chris Pratt outside the little sphere, and then he just runs off. He doesn't even eat the thing. He just attacks it to save Chris Pratt and runs off. And like that's just one of the most convenient points in the movie. There's so many points of convenience. It's so frustrating.
I think you're talking about this moment right here. Right.
I didn't feel like any of our characters were really in any danger from these dinosaurs, like at any time.
No, the most danger they were in was when they were going to drown.
Yeah, honestly, good.
The lava. The
I
lava
did really
was
like that scene. That was
I love the scene with Chris Pratt in the lava when he was like, and he had the neotoxins or whatever in him, and he was trying to like come out of it, and he just like gets licked by Triceratops, right?
Triceratops.
Yeah, I guess that was hilarious. And then the Triceratops moves, and you just see the lava coming after him, and he has to like how terrifying would that be? You're like I can't fucking move, and I have this lava, and he was able to peel himself up and into safety. And I thought
I agreed. That was a really great moment. There was a little moment when the Dominus or the Indorex ate the guy's Indoraptor ate the guy's arm, and then as soon as the hand dropped, or no, he eats the arm, but like a chunk, you can see a big chunk fall on the ground, and the copies all run out.
No, you're mixing up two moments.
Oh, it's a later moment.
Anyway. Yeah, you're talking about the end when the bad guy gets got.
Anyway,
and he gets torn in half.
The little compies run out and they eat. You know, I just love that little detail. And then my favorite part was the ending, where we finally get dinosaurs literally released here on American soil.
Yeah, and the post-credits scene where it's like, hey, there's pterodactyls in Vegas.
I kind of wish we saw more pterodactyls, because that was the fun part in the last movie, was watching the pterodactyls like totally like kill some people. I don't know why I always thought pterodactyls were like not vicious of creatures, but they're pretty fucking vicious.
Yeah, they'll pierce the crap out of you with their beaks, and then take off.
Shred you, and like feed you to their children. Like that's terrifying.
Now the Indoraptor was pretty cool. Like that I will say, the stuff I liked that J.A. Bayona did was when he was trying to make it like a horror movie, except that it didn't make any goddamn sense logically. It was still fun to watch.
At the mansion.
Yeah,
right. I loved that.
Yeah. All that stuff when the thing was tracking them, and when they were like running inside the exhibit, and then you saw its form like running just outside the window, and then the lights all come on, and then it's like right there. And that's the thing, it was so inconsistent what would stop this thing. Like it like could bust through a lot of stuff, but then like a couple of undoubtedly fake logs stopped it from getting to Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard at one point. So like again, the logic was just all over the place, but it was for the convenience of the movie. But it was cool when the Indoraptor was chasing after the little girl running over all over the mansion, because that's the stuff that really, I've mentioned it before on the channel, that one of the things that gets to me the most is when something is like nipping at a character's heels. And not only that, but specifically when when people are having to climb up a ladder when something's right after them.
They had a great one.
Literally, that exact scene that's been done so many times happened in this, when there's it's not the Indoraptor, but it's the lava room.
Spinosaurus.
Yeah, it was a Carnotaurus, I want to say.
Yeah, it was a Carnotaurus. It wasn't a Spinosaurus.
Yeah.
But
I love that scene, because
that was awesome.
That was a good scene.
He reminded that dinosaur reminded me of my dog, because like when he went to grab the chair, and he just like no, and he like starts fighting at the chair, and you're just fighting over the chair so you can get out. I don't know. It just reminded me of dog, and my dog likes to eat things, so it kind of correlated to that. But
yeah, that moment.
That was a fun moment.
And then let's see, Fuego, what's one you want to spoil?
The one that I want to spoil was kind of near the end, where you found out that little girl was a clone.
Yeah, that's the big thing. So you find out that James Cromwell worked with Hammond, and there was something that divided them.
Which he had cloned his daughter.
I'm honestly assuming that was the deciding factor.
Yeah, of course. That's what I was getting to, is that, obviously what had happened was Cromwell said, well, if we can bring back dinosaurs, we can bring back people, because he lost his daughter. So he cloned his daughter and raised her to think that she was her granddaughter. And so that was actually a pretty good reveal, but then it was glossed over. Like, it never mattered again.
Yeah, it did.
Not even in the least bit.
That's why she does what she does at the end.
Yeah, no, I know, but it didn't, like, it...
And she's part dinosaur.
Right.
No, she's
Marcia, you're right again.
No, she's not. No.
I'm agreeing with Marsha on
move to
that
your
one.
left.
She's part raptor.
Does she have any?
That's why she's so adventurous.
No, I think she's part compy. She's a
Has dinosaur.
survivor. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking it was more like cuttlefish or frog or something, but you know, I don't know. Because she was leaping all over the place, remember? So
Maybe she's part monkey.
And as I said, the bad
Armstrong.
guy ended up being James Cromwell's assistant, which was the exact same as Hammond's assistant in The Lost World.
Yeah.
He's basically not trying to rescue the dinosaurs, but gather them up from the island in order to sell them to foreign military markets. And so there's a whole auction scene that we've seen in a ton of movies before as well. Where they're just auctioning off dinosaurs, not specifically dinosaurs being auctioned off before, but some sort of biological weapon has been auctioned off in movies past. And this is just a lot of that. And by the way, selling dinosaurs for $4 or $5 million seems really fucking cheap to me. Like, you gotta be kidding me. They should have been making way more money than what they were making. Like, that was dramatically underfunded, but...
This Stegosaurus, $1 billion.
I mean, it was silly. And then, you know, the Indoraptor comes out, and it's cool, but then it's like
I think
the guy shoots... Oh, my God, this leads to the spoiler that I have to talk about. Okay. The guy shoots the Indoraptor with tranquilizer darts.
Love this.
And then he goes and he opens up the cage for no reason except to go in and try and take one of his teeth.
Yeah.
And when he does so, oh my God, it becomes a goddamn cartoon. It becomes a cartoon, so he goes and he starts to try and grab the teeth, and it shifts angles so you see the other side of the dinosaur, and then you see Buffalo Bill, and then you see the tail rise up behind him. Like, it's gonna tap him on the fucking shoulder and then switch sides on him. But then the tail drops as Buffalo Bill looks behind him. And his eye opens. The eye opens and he smiles!
Yeah.
The dinosaur smiles!
It was awesome.
No, it's not awesome!
So
Dinosaurs don't smile!
I'm with Cecil.
I
That's
love
Oh my God!
terrible.
She's a clever.
Alright, so now you guys know, don't put any stock in what David Marsh is saying.
It goes back to Clever Girl. That's what it reminded me. It reminded me of when
the raptor
Clever Girl meets Tom and Jerry, basically. I mean,
he's all like being sneaky and getting the guy to come in there.
But the
so
raptor
he could
didn't
eat
smile. Why would it literally curled its lip up and
Yeah,
smiled?
It was like licking
It's
the drool.
exciting.
No, it wasn't
Yeah.
licking the drool. You're trying to bullshit out of it. It fucking smiled and you know
It
it.
was awesome.
yeah, that was the only
so
scene.
great.
It's like the only kill with even the mildest amount of gore. There were so many scenes of stuff being mauled and chewed on and
There
stuff
should have
like
been
that.
way more
but
blood
we didn't
from
get
that.
anything.
That was the
we
most
didn't get
clean.
anything like Samuel L. Jackson's arm falling on Laura Dern in the first one, or even like with blood coming down waterfalls and shit like that in the second one. This I felt like they held back on just any sort of gruesomeness so much.
It was
and
so
it just
sanitized.
irritated me. We didn't even get any kills really until like the third act of this movie.
We didn't. Yeah, we
That's
didn't
not
even.
true.
The dinosaurs didn't even
Not
like
true.
rip into any other dinosaurs. Like,
Well, at the very beginning.
I
But
saw kids, like 7, 8 year, old kids there. So that's
who
probably
cares?
That's probably why
it's a
they didn't have it.
PG-13 movie.
Well,
There was people were dying all through that movie. What are you guys talking
But there's
about?
no.
someone
like,
died at the beginning, and then they held off for quite a
That's
while.
not
I
true.
don't know.
There's like the guy that got eaten by the fish one.
I will say this.
But
I will say this. I did like the kind of fake out at the end when you see the Allosaurus. Like all the dinosaurs break out of the compound at the end, and the bad guy's like hiding under a car, and you think he's gonna get like crushed by the car, but then he doesn't, and so he crawls out from under the car, and you see in the background that the carnivore Allosaurus is like meandering up.
he's like, hey, what's
And then
over
all of a
here?
sudden it doesn't even matter because the T-Rex comes out of nowhere and just snags him. Once again, the amount of times the goddamn T-Rex comes out of nowhere, it's a goddamn T-Rex godmother is what it is. It's a fairy goddamn T-Rex.
I love the
It's
T-Rex.
so ridiculous how
He's my favorite.
its timing is impeccable. It's like the
Yes.
goddamn Doctor Who of T-Rexes.
Yes.
He's like Han Solo in
He's
Star
awesome.
Wars. He shows up just to take
It's
the glory
unreal.
shot.
It's unreal.
He drops the mic every time she shows up.
He's like,
She's awesome.
So I did
They're all-
like how they sort of explained away Blue's obedience more in this one, because people hated the fact that the raptors obeyed him in the first one, but this one gave it a lot more context with the videos that you mentioned in the
very
regular
succinct
review.
way of explaining.
Lots of videos we saw of Chris Pratt interacting with them as babies, and you saw, like, they even said, no, guys, the reason he can control Blue is because Blue is different. Blue didn't try and attack him when he showed weakness.
Well, and Blue controls the other ones.
Yeah, Blue snapped the other ones into attention at times. Like, I liked that stuff. I will say I liked that stuff because it gave a reason why Blue was the way she was.
The only thing I was upset about in this movie, to be honest, was that Blue didn't get in the back of their truck and become their, like, dino pup. You know what I mean?
Like Runaways.
Like,
I just wanted to see him, like, riding Blue like a fucking horse or something. That was.
Well, we got Bryce riding a T-Rex.
Yeah. I would have been like, Blue, get in the back of the Bronco, person up front. We just, like, throw some meat at him here and there, and, like, he's got to, like, because it's about to be, Jurassic World. The dinosaurs get out, and take over the world again. And so humans have to figure out how to do that. And why would you give up your best fucking, guard dog and just be like, come on, Blue, I'll put you back in the cage. Like, no, put him in the back of the Bronco. Let's go.
You're my girl, Blue. You're my girl.
Anyway.
All right.
That was the biggest thing I was upset about. It was like, I thought Blue should have left with them. But.
Okay, so let's talk about the emotionally manipulative moment. So when the crew is leaving the island and Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard have snuck aboard the bad people's ship with all the dinosaurs on it, they're pulling away from the dock. And once again, there's this ridiculous thing that movies do. It started with Speed, where a car somehow gets lift on the front two wheels without a ramp when it's trying to jump from a completely even surface to the next thing. Like, I don't understand how suddenly cars leap across gaps when it obviously would have driven directly into the water.
Speed?
Yeah, the bus somehow got lift without a ramp too. That's what I'm saying. It's ridiculous.
All you have to say is, Wendy, I could fly.
Anyway, so they've made it onto this boat, and they're driving away.
Happy thoughts.
And they're being chased by lava, like slow moving yet menacing lava, and then they hear this and you see, they turn around and they see this brachiosaur that is walking on the dock, like essentially being like, "Wait for me!"
Don't leave.
And then you see the lava coming up behind it.
the same one that they saw earlier in the film too.
It might be the same one that they unfortunately tried to mimic the first moment when we saw Brachiosaur in Jurassic Park 1, except it fell so much more flat in this one because it's fucking Margaritaville and the goddamn destroyed Margaritaville in the foreground instead. But nonetheless, this Brachiosaur, you see the lava flowing behind it, and then all of the smoke sort of engulfs it, but then you see that the lava has gotten to it, and so you see its shadow in the smoke lit up by the lava, like as it slowly starts to sink into the lava, crying out the entire time.
Horrible.
It's horrifying. It's utterly horrifying.
It's
Being
very
a redheaded dead horse, man.
and it drags so long. It's like, oh, here, you feel this yet? You feel this yet? You feel it yet? Here's some more. Enjoy. Ooh, it's dying. It's dying a horrible death. Like, Jesus Christ, why?
Let's cut back to Bryce Dallas crying, and then back to the sinking dinosaur. And then
I think it's supposed to represent all the dinosaurs that died on the island.
Well, of course, but still, it's
supposed to make you care about all those ones that died.
I definitely.
It was very sad.
I was talking about in the last review. Like, I felt horrible watching that scene. Absolutely horrible. I felt like Marsha watching like the King Kong movies or something. Like,
it's too much.
I know. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I mean, it was really sad. I didn't want all the dinosaurs to die. Even the carnivores, I feel, didn't need all die, but it does. They were just trying to touch on the whole, would we save the dinosaurs or not save the dinosaurs? And then and then just giving somebody an opportunity to just, because I think it also comes back to the fact that humans are just gonna be like, it's gonna cost too much money. I don't want to deal with it. And we can't really have dinosaurs in the rest of the world, and then they get out and then they eat a bunch of babies too. So we just kind of close our eyes and not deal with it and just ignore the problem. And you're literally forced to face it and understand what it means to just look away and not do something when, species are going to go extinct, regardless if, you're going to be the top of the food chain or on the bottom of the food chain. Like, it's sad. And, that's what they're getting across.
Well, and not even just dinosaurs or whatever. I mean, how much of a blind eye do we turn to, like, human suffering and animal suffering and genocide and all this shit in the world? It's just kind of human mentality. I don't know about you guys, but I'd save the dinosaurs. I'd save the dinosaurs so hard.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
Yeah, no, I would have too. Like, again, it's going to make for interesting stories, but the post-credits scene makes me think that the next one's going to take place in Vegas, which I would think would be interesting. Like, I think there should be some sort of billionaire that is trying to create a Vegas Jurassic Park.
Like in the second one, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Like in the second one, except in Vegas. Or do it like the Meg books and have it be in Dubai, where someone has collected the dinosaurs to try and create a Jurassic Park in Dubai.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No, that'd be a little too expensive. But here's what I wanted to say. After the third movie, if we're still in Jurassic World, what I think would be good is if you started to do like separate single Jurassic World stories a la 10 Cloverfield Lane. So what I think would be a cool one would be if you crossed like, and bear with me on this comparison, on this mashing up, but cross Surviving the Game with Shark Night 3D, where you have a sort of crazy eccentric billionaire that's bought one of every carnivore from this movie. He was one of the guys at that meeting, and he bought one of every carnivore, and he essentially has people that he offers a chance. If you can survive my gauntlet, you can walk away with millions of dollars for you and your family. He goes to poor people at the end of their ropes. And so he gathers a group of people and sends them off into this jungle on this island that he owns, where he's got all of these dinosaurs either in separate paddocks that they have to get through, a la sort of Running Man a little bit as well.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, dinosaur survival reality show.
Yeah, exactly. And so who gets through the raptor paddock? Who gets through the T-Rex paddock? Marsha's shaking her head like it's a bad idea, but I think it'd be a fun way to tackle, what would happen in Jurassic World. Well, why not? Why couldn't it be an offshoot? That's what I'm saying. It's an offshoot. It's like when Jurassic World is just our world with dinosaurs, why couldn't it be little stories like that just take place within the world?
Well, the new one is dated for June 21st, 2021, so it's 3 years away, and it's been claimed as the third part in this second trilogy. So, and they'll probably call it Jurassic World 3, because if we're going to maintain the motif from the first trilogy, there was, Jurassic Park subtitle, and then, Jurassic Park 3. So this will be Jurassic World 3, I guess, and we'll see.
The second one's subtitle was The Lost World.
Yeah.
No, the second one's subtitle was Jurassic Park. It was The Lost World, Jurassic Park.
Yeah, they switched them. Or shouldn't they have had Jurassic Park, The Lost World, instead of
No, because then people would be like, what's that?
Because it was the name of the book was The Lost World, so they just said The Lost World, Jurassic Park for brand recognition. Yeah. Anyway, guys, any other spoilers to talk about?
I think people should go and see it. I thought it was really good. I disagree with this guy and that guy. Well, she's right.
I think it's a fun movie. If you just want to go and enjoy yourself and watch some dinosaurs, then it's definitely for you. And if you like the series, I mean, you got to keep watching it. You got to just sit back and enjoy it. Is it going to be everything you want it to be? Probably not. But it's still fun. I think it's still fun. I still like all the dinosaurs. I like Chris Pratt. Yeah, and I like to see where they're going with it. To see a world full of dinosaurs eating people everywhere you go, it's gonna be great.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm more excited about the next one than
all the chompies running
this
around.
One got me.
like I was reading. I know we just did the books. You guys already reviewed the books, but and make sure viewers watch that. But I just got to the. I read the part about the chompies eating the babies and stuff.
It's horrible, right? Yeah, where the midwife finds them in the crib and stuff after the woman gives birth, and there's some gruesome stuff in that first book.
And they could really pull some of that stuff that was really gruesome out of the books that they didn't address in the movies, and they can put it in this, which I think would be interesting. Of course, I don't want to see the babies being eaten by dinosaurs, but something similar would be fine.
Well, I actually one last thing on the book since you brought it up, Marcia. Hammond's death in the original book, they recreated in the second movie with the compies killing the one hunter guy. So basically, it's almost exactly the way Hammond dies at the end of the first one that guy dies in the sequels. So they did that a lot with this film as well, and I really loved it. So.
So that's gonna do it, guys. I think that's as much discussion as we have on Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. Let us know in the comments down below what you thought of it. Special thanks to all of our patrons, of course.
Yeah,
thank you so much.
We did launch our Patreon this month, so the link is in the description box down below if you want to essentially become a producer of the show and select a tier where you can make sure that we do a particular review, commentary, let's play, anything like that. And, so yeah,
producer. We're selling producer, so now people can
be
producer Adam.
That's not what I said, but okay.
Marcia's gonna
Producer Adam.
You get to select show content for us to do. That's why I liken it to being a producer. Dave's just being a dick. So anyway, thanks very much for watching. I've been Cecil Laird.
I've been producer Dick.
Marcia Meyer.
Gracias, Obenheim Fuego.
And remember,
stay
scared.
Stay scared. You better stay scared.